ओम महादेवी च विद्महे विष्णुपत्नी च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मी प्रचोदयात्.
Namaste. Now many people want to do the sadhana and the samshan because they feel very fascinated about doing the sadhana in the samshan. Now you need to have a lot of precaution when you are doing sadhana and the samshan, because when you do sadhana and the samshan, a lot of negative vortex will open up and you need to be very careful with that. First, now if you try to do sadhana and the samshan, lot of police problem will come, because lot of people do associate the sadhana of samshan with that of black magic. They feel people who are doing black magic, people who are trying to do harm to others, do sadhana in the samshan. So normally you cannot do sadhana in the samshan in the cities. Now I do not know the sadhana in the samshan in the villages, because in the villages people are very sensitive to people who go into the samshan. I have a feeling it is more easier to do in Benares rather than in any part of India about doing the sadhana in the samshan. The second thing is you should have mastered the kavacha. The kavacha, it is that of Anganyasa, Karanyasa, Rishyadinyasa, and also the full body kavacha you should have mastered like that of Brahma Kavacham. Then only you can do the sadhana into the samshan. The second most important thing is, if you are going to go into a particular day, that entire particular day will get spoiled. Suppose you are going to go in and do the sadhana on Tuesday. Now every Tuesday you are going to repeat it. You are going to have the day will slowly start becoming in the negative. Because the samshan sadhana is opening up the negative dark energies and getting connected with the lower astral. So therefore you need to be very careful. It would be best advisable that you do not do the sadhana if you're going to work, you're going to do business, you're going to do all that thing. Don't get involved in this sadhana. Now there was a Muslim man who was doing sadhana in the samshan. He asked me, "Bhai Sahab, I never make money across. Why is that so?" I told him, since you are doing the sadhana on the samshan, now there will be a lot of black vortex energy which will be opening up, which will kill the Vasya Mogana Akarshanam of you. So that is why you are having a problem. I read an article somewhere that when you burn the hair, it is actually the blood is being burnt and it leaves a kind of a stench into the particular area. And it is advised in the scriptures that you should bath for 16 days continuously 3 times a day. So that is the main thing which is being done across for people doing the samshan sadhana. And the second thing is talking about savsadhan, sitting in the shava and doing it. It is very rare. Very few people who are blessed, who have an excellent guru who has mastered the savsadhan, will be allowed to do that particular sadhana. Many people will not be given the shava. Suppose you take the shava of somebody, they will get very angry and they will try to create a lot of disturbance for you. You cannot concentrate. The second problem is that there will be a lot of astral attack which will be happening. So at the most in the Harichandra Ghat or in the other ghats, you can see the body burning and think your own body is burning. That is all. Now, therefore, Jaggi Vasudev talking about doing samshan sadhana, that is why he is going to help by opening up the samshan and doing all that thing. He's wanting to do the body. And also, sometimes what happens is, or many times I have seen, whenever people visit the graveyard, immediately they have problem in the work and the business. That is why in India there is something called Shuddhi which is being done. So you also need to be very clear that you need to do the Shuddhi sadhana when you are doing that. And especially people like Jaggi Vasudev who are kind of half-baked in their approach and who have not done the sadhana should not promote this. He was doing Kala Bhairav sadhana. I told invariably it will go into the samshan because he was not aware of that particular thing. So you need to understand that black vortex will open up. So Daridram and Rinam Vyayam, which means Daridram means poverty, Rinam means debts, Vyayam means excessive expenditure, sickness will all trigger. So you should know how to use the black vortex and do the sadhana across. So I request you to find a proper scriptural text, and also some of the tantric texts are very, very abrupt in telling you should kill a person, use that person for the shav sadhan. Now that is something very dangerous. You will end up in jail. You can have a lot of problem. The other particular problem is when the black vortex opens up, you need a strong will, and the kavacha has to be put so that the spirits don't tear up your aura and chakra and try to invade your body. Now that is very, very tough, because you need to really have a strong will to overcome that particular thing. So for that you should be able to fast for a number of days, and you need the guidance of the Guru. Basically in Shav Sadhan what happens, the astral vortex of death which is being opens up, and you go through the entire astral vortex and come back to the reality, because that astral vortex connects towards the divine light for a few moments or a few hours when the death of the person happens up. That is why during Shav Sadhan many people also die across. Therefore it is very, very important that you approach the tantric sadhana in a very, very careful manner. Unless and until you are very competent and you have a guru and you have done a lot of research, please do not get involved in the sadhana. Don't fantasize all about it. It can have a lot of problem. You can also reach God in different manner. So please do this particular sadhana with lot of care. Thank you. Many people don't understand the law of karma, which operates on the lineage pattern. Sometimes the pattern happens in the kula level also, where the pattern gets repeated again and again. One will be able to see it very, very clearly in Kerala and West Bengal. Kerala and West Bengal, normally people who succeed a lot in Kerala and West Bengal normally go outside the state, and most of them leave their family or family members in the state. They go out, they make money, and then they send money across. For example, in Kerala, many people make money in the Gulf and the Middle East, and that money they send it across into the Kerala. In West Bengal also, they go throughout India. Many Bengalis go throughout India. They are very successful outside the state, and they send back the money to the thing. And especially in the Bimaru state, like for example West Bengal, for example the what you call it as the Jharkhand, Bihar, Orissa, all these patterns are very, very common. They become migrants, they go out of the country or out of the state, they make money. This is called as the Kula pattern. The other one is you can take Punjabis. Many Punjabis go outside India, they try to make a lot of money and they are very successful outside. Now for example, you take one other pattern is the Brahmin families. The Brahmin family, normally the education is stressed across. They will love coffee, they will love music, they will love good food, and also they will be very, very argumentative. You cannot get across a point. They will naturally guide people, and most of them will be very intelligent and will have a strong memory. Now this is a Brahminical pattern which gets repeated in everywhere across. So therefore there is something called as the Kula pattern. There is something called as a family pattern in terms of negative energy. For example, I know there are two brothers and one sister. The sister's husband died. She had a lot of problem with the marriage. The second child, who is the big brother, his marriage survived, but his wife developed a lot of cancer, and which is the breast cancer, and she had a lot of difficulty. The third most important thing, the last brother, his wife quit and ran away across as a person. So this is a negative pattern which gets repeated across into the lineage. So you have to do what you call it as tilahoma or higher dimensions of ritual to clear the pattern. Now you can also see the family pattern which is getting replicated across all over India in terms of political parties. The political parties, you see the family karma works in. Devagowda, his son, his grandson. For example, Umar Abdullah, his son, his grandson. Like, for example, Nehru lineage is 6 people. Like, for example, Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, and also the Rajiv Gandhi, followed by Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. Like that, the lineage also gets repeated across in the pattern. So they either there is a negative pattern or there is a positive pattern. The second pattern is, now you can take Raj Kapoor family. Raj Kapoor family has a lot of artists in that thing. There, for example, their cousin brothers, cousin sisters, where they tend to be dominated in the movies. For example, Ranbir Kapoor, his great grandfather was Raj Kapoor. So Priti Raj Kapoor, Rishi Kapoor, followed by another Kapoor like Ranbir. So this also gets replicated in many people's life. I know one family in Mylapore where everybody wears glasses. They have a common problem which is called as the eyesight problem in their life. Therefore, you can see these patterns getting repeated again and again in a family, lineage, in a place. Now, what that happens is that helps you to deal with them instead of getting locked into the pattern. The other most important pattern is, for example, I have seen people where there are a lot of people are like policemen. I have seen in military where a lot of people are military people. Now, what is the advantages of knowing the family pattern is, if you integrate with your family, you will easily come up in your life. If you go against the family pattern, you will find it very, very difficult to succeed. For example, one of the general who is right now the defense minister, actually his parents were connected with the, what do you call it, as a military. The second thing is, he grew up in a military environment. If you read his biography, it is very, very clear. So therefore, there are families which are artistic. There are places which are artistic. For example, you take Mylapore. Mylapore is filled with a lot of artists. So there is a pattern which gets repeated in the people, place, objects. One tends to pick it up as one becomes very, very sensitive to it and can use it to their personal advantage. Keep watching, you will learn a lot about spiritual techniques. Thank you. Namaste. Today I am going to talk about the sadhana of Vipassana. It is called as the Anasapti Yoga. Now, Vipassana is promoted by the Goenka group, which is a very, very safe sadhana to do. They ask you to come to their place, do 10 days of meditation, 20 days of meditation, 30 days of meditation, 40 days of meditation. The highest, I think, is at about 90 days of meditation you are allowed to do, and they ask you to do it many, many times. Now, the Anasapti Yoga is being promoted in Buddhism, especially the Theravada Buddhism. The orthodox side of the school of the Buddhism is being promoted, and the Buddha has written about a particular chapter. It is there in the Tripakadas, where they talk about that watching the sensation, watching the feeling, watching the mind, and watching the watcher itself. Now, this is a wonderful technique across. In fact, I have participated in the Vipassana camp. Many people find it very difficult to cross over the first few days. And second thing, they are not allowed to talk. Now, they are not allowed to go through the media frenzy. In fact, they have to take a media holiday. You are not allowed to read the newspaper, TV, net, or anything you are not allowed to access. They make your entire environment very innish. They try to dry up your senses. They don't allow you to talk, and they make you meditate for, let's say, 10 to 12 hours a day. It is a very, very rigorous discipline which has to be followed, and that is why many intellectual people love the idea of vipassana. The other important point of the vipassana, is it being told in the Indian scripture? Yes. Actually, the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra talks about the watching of the breath, the circulation of the breath. The entire thing is being shown across very, very clearly across in the first 10 to 12 meditation. Now, this Vijnana Bhairava Tantra talks about it. But the problem is the breath will slow down for many people and they will start having spiritual experiences only if the breath slows down. And many people find it very relaxing, warming, and also they find it very, very easy across as a person. Now, this is a wonderful way to do a sadhana, but of course, you will have to follow the Buddhism. There was a guy who did Vipassana. I asked him, are you feeling very lost in the world? You feel everything is meaningless, shunyat? He told me, yeah, everything I feel is shunyat. So therefore, you have to come to that level of understanding to practice the intense sadhana. This is also an intense sadhana. They give you free food, they don't charge you, and you'll have to register them. They will also give you an invitation to come and participate in that. And the number of people who are doing it is around 50 to 60 or 100 people in a group. And also they have a wonderful temple in Tirumudivakam which talks about it. Therefore, this is a wonderful sadhana. If people want to do it, they can do it. But I find the prayers like Homam Puja has a huge download of energy. The Antakarna opens up very fast. The chakra gets cleared very fast. I feel the Hindu ritual always produces a lot of impact into people's life than anything else. Thank you so much for watching. If you are very happy with the videos, do subscribe and share with people. Thank you. Can you follow the Guru all the time? No. Most of the time you will find it very, very difficult to follow the Guru. You will find there is always a conflict between what you are thinking and what the Guru asks you to follow it. Most of the time we would like to follow our convenience. We would like to follow what we believe is our right, our old habit and routine. Whereas the Guru will break the habit, will break the mindset, will break the routine. So many people will not be able to follow the Guru. And the second thing is, many people want to have ego massage. Oh, you know I am great. You know I am a big politician. Oh, you know I am a big businessman. I am like this, I am like that. But to follow the Guru will be very, very difficult. For example, you take George Gurdjieff. Many people wanted to write his biography. He called them, he said, okay, you can write the biography. So they joined as a student in his tutelage. He said, you go make a road. So they were all asked to make a road. And after that, again what happened? They asked them to break the road. So they were so stunned. They asked him, why did you ask us to make a road? Then why did you ask us to break it? He said, all your action in the eternity of time is meaningless. Whether Alexander does it or anyone does it. So the problem is, now you will find it very, very difficult to follow the Guru. In fact, you will find it too difficult. At that point of time, please light a lamp to Dakshinamurti. And also the real Guru will probably take you out of the corporate life. Will not allow you to run the rat race. All these things will disappear. Your sadhana will become full time, and remembering God will become the important thing, and your practice results will be the most important thing. So do not try to underestimate all these three things. All the people who want to loot you, who want to cheat you in the name of sadhana will tell you can balance this world and that world. No, you cannot balance. Your soul will find it very, very difficult. It will find it very, very drabby to work in the corporate world. So it is very, very important to understand a royal Guru will make you to focus on the sadhana, will use the eternal external world to reflect on the sadhana. And another point is, there was a teacher who said, I am going to die from the cliff. So he was ready to prepare for suicide. Everybody was petrified and astounded. At the end of the thing, he said, I'm not going to die. I want to check out how many people are very interested in doing the sadhana. So they were all shocked. No, you are dying, so we were very worried. He said, that has been my teaching. I am going to die, you are going to die, so better to practice the sadhana. So remember, a good guru will say, Apa Deepo Bhava, and he will try to practice. You will find it very, very difficult to practice. You can do public relation, you can exaggerate your ego, you can massage other people's ego, you can become a guru agent by propagating tom-tomming and bringing other people. A real guru, like the great Gamopa who met Milarepa, told that I am very privileged to meet you, but it has been a arduous task of meeting you, that I am actually very privileged. So you will find it very difficult to reach Guru, follow Guru in your life, and you will find it that it is not convenient to follow the corporate structure. Most of the time your sadhana will pull you, you will give up a lot of external things in the world. So if you can't follow the Guru, at least follow him step by step. If you can't take the hop, leap or step, just follow him step by step. You will find it that you are growing bigger and bigger. Thank you so much. Namaste. Today I am going to talk about marriage and marriage proposal in the Indian way. Of course, you can use this marriage and marriage proposal to the Western system of searching for the bride and all, but to a very larger extent, marriage, what are the problems in the bridal search, in the bridegroom search, what you are supposed to do other than matchmaking is what we are going to talk about in these kind of episodes which are going to come. The first thing you have to do is to write down. Do not mentally say, I want this type of a girl, that type of a girl, I want this type of a boy, that type of a boy. Do not say that. That actually leads to a lot of confusion into people's mind. Write down the height, weight, color, complexion, the hairstyle. If suppose you don't have a hairstyle model, take a photo of the person whose hairstyle you like and put that hairstyle. You write down the education qualification, the salary, the place. For example, you have any preferential of a place, you have any preference of the what you call it as a religion, you have any preference for the caste, you have any preference for what you call languages. Some people like certain languages, some people do not like certain languages. Please write down all these things very, very clearly across. The main problem is many people are not aware what they want. They simply say, if you ask a woman, she say, I want to get married to a good boy. Now what is the meaning of that good boy? The good boy will have a lot of criteria. Maybe the good boy is a squint-eyed, will you like to get married? This good boy will have a crooked teeth, will you like to get married? So the problem is you have to write down the criteria what you really like. If you are a woman, write down the speech part of it. If you are a woman, write down the habit part of it. Now, will you like your man to smoke? Will you like your man to drink? Now, all that also you write it down as a person. So, let me repeat again. You have to write down the height, weight, color, complexion, religion, caste, language, preference of the place, your salary, what you want, and also the habit structure. A habit means whether the person is a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian, and also the areas whether the person can smoke, drink, and also the very, very important thing, would you like your spouse to travel a lot? Because there are certain travel jobs in the world where people tend to travel a lot. Is that okay with you? There are people who like to get married abroad. No, write it down. There are people who like to marry inside near their parents. Write it down across. So this is a very, very important exercise. Don't forget to do that. Even before you search for a marriage proposal, write it down. The second most important problem with the marriage proposal is you have to ask your parents also to write it down. Some people will not like to give it to a single parent. They would not like to give it to only a lady who has mother, only a lady who has a father. They will say both parents has to be alive. Now this could be the criteria of the parents. If you don't have a criteria, that is okay. The other one, they would say the parents must have been very successful in their own way, whether maybe they have worked in the government office in the Indian condition, or maybe they must have worked in the private sector, like that. The other most important criteria, what they call it, is the family status. The parents will look whether the mother and father, do they have their own house. Now this is an important criteria. They will go ahead and search whether the person will have their own house. And the other part of it is, now do they have a social standing and reputation? For example, if the father is a politician, if the father is a federation president, if the father is some kind of a noticeable personality, then it is very easy to get through across. So like that, do they have a social standing? Do you require a social standing? So write down all these criteria, which is very, very clear. I came to know of a particular incident right now. The girl liked the boy, but the girl mother did not like the boy because the person was dark and he was not well qualified, and she was expecting the guy to be a postgraduate, and there was a lot of difference of opinion into the entire matter. So getting married is not just getting married, but getting married to a family. The family has to integrate, the boy and the girl has to integrate. All these things does not happen in a love marriage. The love marriage, the boy and the girl like each other. The rest of the priority is adjusted across. So please understand that this criteria has to be written. For example, I know a particular woman who said my husband should not be bald. I know a particular mother-in-law who said the boy should have a very thick mustache. So the point is, now we do not know what is the criteria in which they are doing it. There are a lot of ladies who say we do not want dowry but end up having a grand marriage. There are, like my uncle told very clearly to the girl side, I want the marriage to be in the Kalyana Mandap. So the point is, this is a problem if you are not willing to know what you want. This is exactly the problem. Many people have the problem in their life because they do not know what they want, and it is a process of trial and error, and it is going to take time to find out this trial and error. Now many people say I have been searching for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, because this trial and error process of what you want is not clear. It is not written in the paper. It is not written in black and white. Even you can write it in an e-copy. That does not really matter. Please write it down very, very clearly across. Then only you will be able to get a very, very clear idea about what kind of a boy, what kind of a girl will be suited to you and your family across. Now, this is one of the reasons why many people have a problem, because they don't think it through. Because clarity of thinking is very, very important. And many people, since they don't have a clarity of thinking, always they will try to say this criteria is not fitting, that criteria is not fitting. And also you should write down your top 3 priorities. For example, I told a girl, do you want to live very close to your parent? She said, yes, I want to live very close to your parent. It means you are not interested in going abroad. Yes, I am not interested in going abroad. That will be your top priority. Then there was a girl who told me, I want to work after marriage. So that was the second priority. The third priority was was, there was a girl who told, I have a loan, I have to repay the loan. So I am going to tell the boy that I have a loan which has to be repaid by me after the marriage across. So the point is, you need to be very, very clear about the loan, what you are going to have. In case you have a loan, you can tell it out to people. So the point is, become very, very clear about the priorities, the top 3 priorities, what you have and which is not kind of compromisable. Now with this, 80-90% of the matches will fall down, and you will know the rest, what is there can be negotiated very, very easily across. So the first thing is to write down, the second thing is to fix the top 3 priority across. Do not generalize. For example, there was a woman who told me, I want my daughter to get married within the caste and the person should be an Iyengar. Now, is it correct or wrong? Is it something which they have to search for it? So the point is, become very, very clear about the second principle of writing down the priorities. What is your major priorities? What is your major criteria? For example, there was a girl who told me, I would like my husband to earn more than 75,000 rupees. He should have a own house. That's okay. But that is her priority as a person. So write down your priorities and write down your expectation and the top 3 priorities which you don't want to compromise, and more or less you will come to the point where it is very, very easy to start the search. Keep looking at the videos. You will get a very clear idea about what kind of matching and what kind of marriages can be problems you will be facing across. Thank you. Second problem in the matching is the presentation. Before you go into the presentation, the number of website, the matrimony site you are supposed to apply. Please apply minimum of 5 to 7 matrimony website. Don't worry about the money what you're going to spend, because this is a one-time affair. And the second thing is, you will have a range and an option which will help you to come to a conclusion about what kind of what you call it, girl or a boy you can want. The problem with many people is, many people choose one matrimony and probably they will go in for a very, very famous matrimony, and normally they do not get the kind of criteria research what they have as a person. Therefore they have a lot of problem across. So the first thing what you should ask yourself is the number of matrimony sites you are going to apply. Apply for a minimum 5 matrimony sites. In India, you have the caste based sites. Apply in your caste based site. If you are a 1 year, apply in the 1 year. If you are a Sindhi, apply in the Sindhi caste based site. If you are a Gujarati, apply in the Gujarati caste based site, because this will help you to have more range and option. This will help you to speed up the process. This is a very, very important thing. I would also advise you to go in for a premium matching. Please do not avoid this, as it will create a lot of problems for you. Now many people, because they say why we need to spend the money, don't worry about it. Premium matching will help you to contact faster, communicate faster, get information faster. In Bharat matrimony. They have a service called elite matrimony. Of course, it's expensive. In today's term, it is around 23 or 15,000. I don't know the range, but that will help you to solve a lot of issues, because these guys itself will communicate across a person. Now, this is a very, very important exercise you have to go through. Please apply in for a multiple sites. Don't look in for a single site. You will get into problem. The second most important thing is make a Facebook page where you write down about the boy and the girl very, very clearly. Write down the Facebook where you write about the schooling, the college, the work, the family members, the achievement, the preferences, the hobby, and the kind of beautiful photos what you shoot about the person. Please do put it across. Create a Facebook account and do it across. Now this account, whenever they call up, whenever the boy or the girl side likes it, immediately share this Facebook account, which will have the entire detail about this particular boy or a girl. This is a very, very important exercise which you need to build it up. The other one is make 5 people talk about the boy or a girl. Maybe the brother, maybe the mother, maybe the guru, maybe the everybody. Make 5 or 10 people talk about the girl's good side or the boy's good side, and load it in the Facebook or in the YouTube. Make the YouTube video private and allow it to share, because this will help you to build a lot of credibility, because there is a lot of people who are promoting these kind of things is not available, because people will have a very good impression about you as a person. So therefore this has to be done where you create a Facebook site, where you shoot a video, even if the video is not a premium video, but the video has to communicate the idea what that person is all about. I might look very silly, sounding very bizarre. Now this is not in work, but the world has moved into YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp. There is a lot of sharing of information is happening across. So please do not waste your time in trying to do that. Minimum shoot 5 videos. Father, mother, brother, sister, neighbor, friend. They talk about good about the boy or good about the girl, and make the boy itself talk or make the girl itself talk about herself for a 2 to 5 minutes video, because this will help people to make a judgment about the other person. I heard many people come back and say the people don't know to talk, people don't know to communicate. This will help you to clear a lot of air in the thing across. Now, what is the process of seeing the thing? First, you take the Jadagam, you match it in the astrologer front, then you call up the people, then they tell in the phone, then they inquire about you as a person, or they ask for a detail across. Then there is a meeting. The meeting can be informal, it can be in a hotel, or it can be in a temple, it can be in a what you call neutral territory. Then the person, then they will try to come into your person across. Now this is the entire process. Now the entire problem with this thing is, now many people are not very good in answering in the phone. They do not have phone manners. They have not communicated in the phone, and second thing, they have not been in the marketing field, or their communication at the most would be worst or bizarre. So the point is, you need to understand people can be rude in the phone, but in person the person can be very nice. So do not come to any kind of conclusion because the way the person speaks. The second problem is people do not know how to say no. Maybe they didn't like your look, maybe they didn't like your salary, maybe they didn't like your height and weight. They simply use a point blank of saying, I don't like you because the Jadagam doesn't fit. it. The astrology match does not happen because it is a convenient way, it is a face-saving way of telling a person no in a polite terms. So when somebody says the Jatagam doesn't fit in, please understand that there could be a variety of reasons other than horoscope. So don't be stupid in probing what is wrong in my son's or daughter's horoscope. My astrologer told this way, my astrologer told that way. It is their way of politely telling you no. So please do not argue and do not create ruckus and misunderstanding in the phone. Try to understand you are told in a nice manner of saying no. Sometimes they might say somebody has died. Sometimes they might say that we are busy, we don't have time to do that. People can give umpteen bizarre reason, so don't take it personal. Many people are silly, egoistic, and they think too much about themselves if another person says no. Don't develop this attitude. If, for example, if your son is abroad, it does not mean that every girl in this universe has to say yes across. If the person is in Detroit or probably in the Tampa Bay, it doesn't mean every girl who is coming across has to say yes. It need not be. So you please understand, you put your father and mother's ego aside. Don't get involved in the silly quarrel and silly battle. Don't write long WhatsApp messages. Don't irritate people, because this will get circulated everywhere and somebody will talk bad about you. You will have a lot of problem across. So don't do that across. Just because your girl is pretty, it does not mean that every boy, he can be there. Maybe the boy is in love with somebody else. Maybe the boy has already chosen somebody. So do not get carried away. The fourth most important thing is give yourself 12 to 15 meetings. It does not mean just because you meet the parents, it does not mean you meet the boy or a girl, they are going to say yes. There will be a lot of warm-up sessions will be there. It is a kind of what you call it as a test sessions will be there. It will be kind of what you call it as a kind of a starter sessions will be there. It will be a kind of a sessions where each other will come to know each other. It is like a warming up session. Give yourself 12 to 15 times the warming up sessions, 12 to 15 meetings where you give yourself around half an hour to 1 hour of each session. So that much it will take people to say yes and no to you. So don't get carried away. And also, if the girl or a boy shows interest and say, I want to talk to your son or a daughter, do not hesitate. Give the WhatsApp number and allow them to talk to each other. Now, many of the parents feel very insecure, and it means you must be living in the what you call 18th century or 16th century, where the Maharaja Ranjit Singh got married to his wife without seeing the wife. All that thing is not going to happen. So the point is, you need to understand that they will also communicate around 10 to 15 times in the WhatsApp, probably in the telephone conversation for more than half an hour to 45 minutes before somebody can say yes. And remember, the girls are very finicky. They can develop no for some strange bizarre reason. For example, I came to know of a girl who liked everybody, but who said the boy is from from Bombay, but the boy speaks Marathi, he doesn't know Tamil, and when I am feeling very bad, how do I communicate in my native language, which I'll find it very difficult, so I don't want to say that. So this could be a variety of reason. So give yourself 10 to 12 meetings between the families and 10 to 12 conversation between the boy and the girl before the yes or no is said. Now this is also a very important thing. And also, don't expect your children to say yes to you. Now, I know one lady who went on saying to her daughter, after post graduation, I'll get married to you. After post graduation, I'll get married to you. When? In the second year of undergraduation, she has told off. So, the point is, you need to give yourself 2-3 years of time to your parents, to your children. Many people have a different priority. They have career as a priority. Some of them wants to buy houses, some of them want to go abroad. Right now they do not want to have marriage as the priority, so they get very confused about it. You need to repeat it, you need to tell it again and again and again, to tell them, I want to get you married, I want to get you married, I want to get you married. Like that, you need to do this exercise long before even you take the Jatagam, long before you start the search itself. So do not think just because you say they are going to say yes, it is going to take time. And many people have the attitude, only after 30 I want to get married. You might have got married in 24, 22. These days many people have the attitude of getting married only after 30. And if the girl, then they start thinking of getting married only after 28. The marriage cycle is becoming longer and longer, especially in the upper caste community like that of Brahmins, Iyer, Iyengar. Generally, if the girl is abroad, then 33, 34, 35, 36 is all very, very common for many people to get married across. So become very, very clear that you have to market this idea of marriage, if you are a parent, for more than 1 to 2 years before they say yes. And also give yourself ideally 24 to 36 months. Just because you take a horoscope, just because you start a search, it is not going to happen immediately. Now, many people get disappointed. Many people say, oh, Guru Balan must come. Immediately the marriage will happen. It is all wrong. The Guru Balan will come. The Guru Balan will go. I have seen many times the Guru Balan will come and go, and they are not able to fix it because the boy is not ready. The girl is not ready. By the time they are ready, the Guru has already passed by. By the time they are ready, the market is actually on the lower dip where people don't want to get married. So give yourself some time. So give yourself, just because the astrologer says this time, that time, many of the time it does not happen, because the next Guru Balam is what it will happen across. So please have this attitude across. So first, very, very important thing, apply in multiple matrimony sites, apply with the premium, start with the Facebook page and load 5 videos of people speaking good about the boy or a girl. The other one is the process of Jatagam, from the phone to meeting to the to what you call it, to in-person meeting. And therefore you have to give yourself that the number of Jatagams you will see can run into hundreds, because you might find the right Jatagam. A number of, out of the 100, 20% will be frozen for matching. Out of that, only 5 or 6 will come into your kind of the next stage across. And also give yourself meeting. How many meetings? 10 to 12 meetings between the two families, and the boy and the girl, give yourself, let's say 10 to 12 times they talk in the phone, WhatsApp and meeting all together, and that's how it will go across. And also you need to drum up the idea that they should get married very, very fast. So develop this attitude before you start the search of the marriage. This will give you a very, very good idea. Thank you.